Are we back? Anybody out there?
Can anybody hear me eating these Doritos?
No audio. No audio. I think you're right. Wow. Man. How do I get this use default? I don't. Okay. Now you got some audio. You hear some music now. I guess I have to go through and figure out why that is. So now we're going to cyberpunk, where it's going to be way more stable. And it's not going to kill my face cam, and I'm going to have more weapons and more outcomes. Oh, let's say this game takes a long time to launch. I guess the real goal for me is to finish the main story before that Phantom DLC thing comes out. Continue. I did get to the desert. I did chat up that girly girl, and things almost happened. I was feeling good. And then she said, "No, we're just friends." And I said, "Fine."
Yeah, I know I shouldn't have. After all, I heard microwaves zap out all the nutrients. But hey,
You's a bitch.
so you know, you win some, you lose some.
You's a bitch. You's a bitch.
But I think tomorrow night, me and you schedule some time. We're going to react to some crazy nutcaseness.
I can't stomach a cold burrito.
120 million eddies?
Sound good?
Yeah. And just to get your hand,
Let me know what time that works for you.
you got some cojones, V.
Okay, so I think sometime in the evening, nighttime, we're gonna go over some stuff. We're gonna do some co-stream types thing. In the meantime, I'm gonna enjoy this game that isn't bugged out and also prettier and also not boring. Look at this. I'm already having more fun just tumbleweeding. Incredible. Yeah, sounds good. There's some initial D type stuff.
What's shaking?
Need to make contact with the Voodoo Boys chief if he can swing it.
All right. Straight to heavy business. Now, that'd be Maman Brigitte. Be tough getting a word into her.
Maman Brigitte. And that sounds like a spooky cult alias.
Have not had the pleasure of asking her personally, but it is what everybody calls her. Doubt the title has any real religious weight, though. Voodoo Boys play pretty fast and loose with their Haitian heritage.
Is that true?
You really don't do any biz with them?
Not with the chefs, chefins, priests, and whatnot. All got dirigible-sized egos, won't talk to lowly me. But if you insist, I can ask around, try to set something up. I'll just need some details first.
Got something they want.
Truly? Want to sell something to the VDBs? Trust me, they don't want it, they don't need it. They're isolated, insulated, they got their own contracts, tech, networks. But, have it your way. Okay, I'll see what I can do and get back to you.
Okay. I feel like I need to do some of these. Oh, that way. Get to one of those fast travel stations. Whoa, did I kill this guy? Whoa. Okay.
Hi, you there, mysterious stranger. Yoo-hoo!
What?
Yeah, you. There any other mysterious stranger around here? You know what? How about I tell you a joke?
Sure, be my guest.
Go for it.
Must all trauma team medics swear to uphold the hypocritical oath?
Okay, what's going on?
Hey there, stranger. I'm Brendan, your friendly neighborhood SCSM, and the nicest AI in all of Night City. You can select from a wide range of beverages, or just drop by for a chat anytime. Now it's your turn. What's your name?
Why am I talking to a schism? My name is V.
Pleasure to meet you, V.
Pretty often, as a matter of fact.
I'm sorry. Did I correctly hear you ask if I wanted...
No.
Oh, well, that's okay. Because you can have one now. And just to clarify, we don't have to move an inch. How do you take it? Milk? Sugar?
Okay, you got me. I'm sold.
Sold? Nothing's gonna be sold here. Cause you know what? I'm gonna give you a can of Night Cola for free.
Oh, that's nice.
Brendan, right?
That's right. Gosh, it's so cool you remembered. Even for a simple SCSM.
Cool. So, did you want something from me?
Oh, yes. Well, I do apologize for taking advantage of you at this early stage in our friendship. But could I ask you for a favor?
What happened?
See that container in front of me? It's completely blocking my view of the street, depriving an SCSM of its greatest pastime. Could you move it a bit to the side? I'll reward you with my undying gratitude, even though technically I don't stock that.
I'll see what I can do.
Thank you, V. Boy, are you...
I'm so strong. Oh my god.
This whole nice act of yours is just way too much.
That's just how I was programmed. You think anybody'd interact with a grumpy, spontaneous craving satisfaction machine?
No.
Would you even be able to offend me? Come on, call me a shithead.
Why would I want to do that? You just saved me.
You can do it.
Ahem. So, how'd I do?
Almost. You, almost had it. Catch you later, Brendan.
Catch me? Why? Will I be falling?
It's just something you say as a way of goodbye.
Oh, I get it. I mean, I don't, because catching has nothing to do with goodbyes, but... oh well. Don't humans say the darndest things? Catch you later, V. What a neat phrase.
Yeah. Neat. So, I guess I did that one. Go over this way. Who's this guy?
How'd you rate his chops?
Well, let me listen. He's not playing anything. Weak.
Can barely hold a thing. I ain't a musician, but even I can tell that's sloppy stuff.
Ladies and gentlemen, a critic. Chill, Chupa. Ain't half bad. Guys,
He's not playing anything.
take. And it shows. Could stand a little more stage presence. Fingering's all wrong, loses the tempo more than he keeps it, but not bad.
You really know how to give a guy a compliment. Is that how you got your start? Street busker with big dreams?
Don't make me laugh. No time for playing my way to the top. Was too busy shaking the world awake.
I'm too busy shaking the world. Losers tend to say that. Oh!
Now, isn't that what every failed artist says about their work?
Oh, now he's gone.
You know what? You're right. I failed. Corpo tyrants still run this town.
I'm interested why. Oh, he's there.
But if you think in my heart of hearts I want to be the next teen idol, think again. Don't give half a fuck about that commercial shit.
All right, princess. At least you played some gigs. It's all those memories of yours.
True. Played where we could. Parks, old factories, underground clubs. Had an audience from the start. Some recorded our stuff, didn't even know who we were.
So, you're saying some old samurai bootlegs are still floating around town? Ooh, I smell heads.
No idea you were such a materialist. Could almost cry. Almost.
But jokes aside, you think those tapes still exist? After all these years?
You know, Rainbow Cadenza's not far from here. Club we played till the band fell apart. Great spot. Place for people with their heads on straight. Maybe they'll know something.
I smell money.
I smell money.
That's it, huh? I haven't shot anything yet.
Johnny, pretty sure they turned your great spot into a slurp shop.
Mindless fucking consumerism wins the day again.
Yeah, dude. Consumers, dude. Consumers, bro.
Fucking consumers, dude. Consumers, dude.
Okay, now what do I do? Wants me to go behind.
Tiger Claw ball hole. Ain't nothing better.
Know anything about any bootlegs from the Rainbow Cadenza days? Like, say, I don't know, samurai stuff?
Oh, that ugly red face on black? Yeah, even I know that one. Old guy comes by here sometimes wearing their shirt. Spends the whole time yakking with his psychopath friends.
You wouldn't happen to know where I could find him.
You can find him living back in the 2020s. But besides that, he's out there at the market.
What's he selling?
Organic strawberries and cream. What do you think? He sells ancient, dusty tapes of ancient, dusty indie bands. No one's heard of a single one of them.
Green. Thanks.
Red Menace, Purple Force, it's us, crime.
Hey.
Making waves in Tokyo, Sydney, and Paris. The next stop is on your doorstep. Night City, expect the unexpected. Yo, my Cuba shrews.
I heard I can get some decent tunes here.
What you mean by decent? We got Cartesian Duelist, Uridine stuff, Tainted Overlord.
Any samurai?
Klingon opera.
You even gotta ask? Never fade away. Dancing with my axe, chipping in, you name it, we got it. Silverhand was the one true messiah of rock. I'd hand them records out like candy if I could. But a guy's gotta eat.
I'm looking for the real deal. Like, say, bootlegs from Samurai's first gigs.
Fuck. First, you have got no idea what you're asking for. Not if you're so chilled about it. Don't know how you found out about them bootlegs, but forget it. Not gonna give them to the first gonk off the street.
I used to come here back when it was still Rainbow Cadenza. Bootleg sure would make a nice souvenir of the good old days.
Cut the scoff. You're too young to remember the first samurai gigs. Weren't even a twinkle in your daddy's karoshis.
Hey, appearances can be deceiving. How do you know this pretty face ain't an implant?
All right, pal. Prove it. How'd Samurai's third ever gig end?
Oh.
Hey, Johnny, get your digital ass out here. Feed me my lines.
How about this? Fuck you, V ain't your stupid sidekick.
Well, can't wait all day.
Fucking hell, Johnny. Why sabotage? Why now?
Cause it's funny, cause I'm bored. Maybe I don't like the cut of your conformist jib.
Conformist jig.
Played our third gig at Cadenza. Little fire broke out. Some drunk gonks tried to put it out with beer. Denny's fro got singed. Wore a wig for a few weeks. Never did get herself any tech hair.
Hang on. Now I remember. There was a fire. Ah, poor Denny. Poor Denny's hair.
I almost forgot. Heard Johnny started it, actually. tossed a cig that was still glowing.
Bullshit. That cig was Carrie's, no doubt. But hey, any trouble's Johnny's fault.
Still don't believe you were there. But what the hell? Only a real fan.
What the hell, man? Like, you seem like a cool dude, man.
Gotta educate the youth. Maybe you'll find.
Like, what the hell, man? Like, you're cool, dude. Like, you got down.
No, I didn't. Okay, I got that. Wow, it's expensive. Expensive stuff, dude.
Much appreciated.
Take it. Spread the good Silverhand word.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay.
You know, they say time is the best teacher. Used to think that was true. But look at that guy. 60 at least, but still living in 2020.
Guy's your biggest fan. You not happy to meet him?
Busaka Tower to smithereens, and it's still standing there, just the same. Don't want people getting stuck in a rut, stuck in the past. Want them to change, them and the world.
You want to force him to change. Well, you can't just blow him up like the tower.
But music's the answer? Here's what happens. Grandpa knows every damn word. Doesn't understand a single one.
You'd rather massacre a bunch of people then. And the average Janes and Joes. Maybe they don't want to change. It's their choice. You want to take that away from them?
Johnny.
Bums who play see no evil might be blind idiots. They need to wake the fuck up. Guess jury's still out on how.
Okay. I think it's time we just, you know, find some baddies. There's nothing to do over here.
Excuse you.
We're gonna get in some trouble here. What? Ouch. Here, dude.
reconnaissance is complete.
It worked. Can hear it in your voice.
Everything is ready. I am sending you coordinates. Join me as quickly as you can.
No.
Take this, you corporal bastard!
What?
Fuck you looking at? Nothing to see here. Move along!
Is this how Night City's finest protect and serve?
Why? You want to be some kind of hero?
I don't care. I don't know him.
So, why the fuck we talking?
I like to know what's going on around me. It's not every day you see a man in a 1,000-80 suit getting beaten within an inch of his life. Wouldn't you agree?
He put a girl into a coma. Daughter of a friend.
Rotten skiff or an XPD?
Second one.
From what I can tell, your guy's a mid-level manager.
And?
The Corp won't let this slide. They'll pull the data from this asshole's biomon and find you. And then, they'll shoot you.
You think I don't know that? Fucking corpos walking around like holy cows in a two-piece? But I ain't letting them go. No fucking chance.
I'm not asking you to. What I want is for you to let me finish the job.
Let me deal with it, dog. Yeah.
For you.
Nothing.
Yeah.
This is how I unwind.
It's how I deal with things.
All right. Let's go, boys.
Take care of yourself, officer.
Get the fuck out of here. You too. As for you.
Rise and shine, Corpo Swine.
Shit. Well, if it wasn't for you, I'd be... Well, were you sent by the company?
Wrong answer.
Then hold on. What do you want from me?
The truth. What do they want from you?
I have no idea. They said something about some slut and a virtue. But when I asked what I had to do with it, they started beating on me so hard, I thought I'd die. This city's really going down the drain. For the police to do this in plain sight for no reason.
Go on.
Darn, I wanted the money.
I don't understand. Just like that. For nothing in return.
Nothing.
I don't believe you. You saved me just like that because you felt like it?
Don't measure others by your own yardstick, prick.
It's go time. I'll take those Euro dollars. Ah! I'm out of here.
Not me.
Not doing anything.
Maybe the new guy. Because he was acting strange.
Jesus. Where are they seeing me? No. Well, where's my fucking bar? Stop, stop, stop. Okay, well, that's great. Just great. See you later, nerds. Oh, shit. I'm obliterated. I wouldn't survive that. Are you kidding me? The bike would not be here.
V, consider this your lucky day.
Let me just help the police here.
Sweet love to it, that is.
Got something for me?
Well, it's like I said. Whatever you're peddling, the VTBS are just not in the...
Oh, God. Oh, God.
But they have another...
That was a mistake. Where's my last shit? Are you kidding me? Well, I got him, right? No one saw me. No one saw it. No one saw it. And no one saw me.
Don't even want to find you. Huh?
Give me this car, assholes. This is mine now. Oh my God.
Consider this your lucky day. You hear Pacifica calling, you make sweet love to it, that is.
Got something for me?
Well, it's like I said. Whatever you're peddling, the VTBS are just not in the market. But they have another task that needs doing. So I volunteered you. Do it well, and you'll get your audience with Brigitte.
Oh, yeah?
What's this task needs doing?
What? You're gonna go picky on me now?
Yeah.
Tactile
I'm gonna
filling
go
on the
picky.
knees. I got zero from him. Actually, got the impression I'd have to pay for every word out of his mouth.
Okay, so who do I talk to and how?
Hit the chapel on Sloan. Look for the altar inside. Someone will touch you, nod to you. Something spooky.
Got it. Thanks.
Hey. Aw. Hey. What's going on?
Crazy fool! Hey, wait! doesn't justify things.
When was that? 71?
65. But you won't read about it in no history books, kid. It's best that way, too.
I think these guys are cool with me. Dang, they don't want to mess with me.
Finish the enemy!
Had enough of this shit!
Mercy! Please!
Okay, I really need to say this.
Of course.
What are you
If I
selling?
ever see her again.
Anything you can
New
see.
jobs. Been tough on her lately.
Bag of
Ain't nothing going on. All right, so oh, before we get going though, it's pee-pee time.
I bend and I break. I'm never gonna find my way. As long as I'm stuck in this dream of a sunrise. You're calling my name, just enough to get me up and away. But it doesn't matter, no matter how hard you try. It's time to start over and say that we tried. It's time to start over and say goodbye. I'm out of my mind. Do they look at me this way all the time? I look at myself and start to think maybe they're right. It's time to start over and say that we tried. It's time to start over and say goodbye.
We will not be controlled! We must rise up and fight them! Together!
All right, I want
All right, we're gonna get an opinion from a pro. His name is Jake Baldino. Jake Baldino. Jake Baldino. I guess he knows what he's talking about. I don't know. I never heard of him. I feel like I've seen his face, but we're gonna see his opinions. What does he call this video? Starfield versus old Bethesda. Does it have legs?
I want to talk about Starfield a little more because there is a lot. The post-launch success and stuff that's been in the headlines now that the game is out. Just go into the game a little more. The future, really, of Bethesda Game Studios games, but also just Starfield in general. And kind of a bit of Bethesda game context from yours truly. I haven't went on record and kind of ranked their previous games in a while, so it's a good opportunity to do that. So let's start with that. Let me just lose you guys right off the bat. So if we're ranking the games,
I like his shirt.
Say, like, this isn't game ranks, like this isn't like a definitive thing.
Very obviously a mummy reference.
Subject to change. I could feel differently
Barry Brendan Fraser.
About Starfield or any other game in a year. I don't know. But you guys know with Starfield, I put out a video on Game Ranks and on here. I honestly think
Game Ranks, that's why I know this guy.
Critical Starfield evaluations, despite ultimately liking it. But where does it actually land in my whole ranking? Let's start from the top. My favorite Bethesda game is Oblivion. I know it's partially a nostalgia thing. I'll totally admit it was one of the games I was most hyped for pre-release, and it met all my expectations. But I just love the setting, the tone specifically of Cyrodiil, and everything they really built there really worked for me. It also had a hell of a good expansion with the Shivering Isles, and it kind of just felt like it paved the way for the next couple of Bethesda games. But the Oblivion Gates, Sean Bean, Patrick Stewart, like it just scratched the right fantasy itch. Obviously, Cyrodiil feels very
Patrick Stewart. Patrick Stewart. Patrick Stewart? Patrick Stewart? Continue.
From the rest of Tamriel, in terms of it feeling a little bit more traditional fantasy, but for me, it was perfect. Knights, swords, minotaurs, mages, the Thief Guild, all that stuff just really stuck with me. The color palette, the density of the game, at the time, the density of the game, that felt like the first game you could truly go walk in the forest and get lost. And that is not lost on me. Like that was a very specific moment in gaming, and I really love it for that. Does it still hold up today? I actually think somewhat yes. I fired it up pretty recently, and I was still very happy, very satisfied. Some of the RPG stuff, some of the menu stuff, and obviously the combat is very simple, but for me, it works. And I'm going to continue the trend here. I think like if you're a Bethesda Game Studios fan, there's, the fantasy or the Fallout. Like I'm the fantasy guy. I like Elder Scrolls a lot. So
I'm not.
Number 1 is Oblivion. Number 2 is Morrowind. Morrowind was that first.
Number 1 is none of them. Number 2 might be Oblivion.
Hit for me. That was my first exposure to Elder Scrolls, and it felt incredible. I remember reading up on it, hearing about it, and going, whoa, I gotta get me some of that. And at the time, I had both a PlayStation 2 and an Xbox, but my Xbox was really just like the Halo machine, and Morrowind was the first game I got on it that like really, really felt like something special. It felt like a PC game. It was a hot mess, but it was so much fun. Is it dour, weird, strange, muddy? Yes. But that's part of the feel. And for me, that was, again, the exposure to the Elder Scrolls. And I think it was a good time for it because it's Elder Scrolls at its most distinct. It's not as derivative. It's got a lot of weird shit in it. You see a lot of like how the Dark Elves are living. And the world is just so varied and just strangely different from what we've seen. And again, it just felt like a good classic PC RPG, but set in this expansive, incredible open world. Like there was just so many possibilities. Was a lot of it just flat, weird geometric shapes? Sure. But all of it had an air of mystery to it. The NPCs were compelling, and the game did not hold your hand at all. If they told you to go east and find something, you just had to hope for the best.
I did get lost in all of those games. Like not sure what to do and just walked around talking, killing. What am I doing here? That was my feeling in a lot of those games.
Then on my list down at number 3 is Fallout 3. People bag on Fallout 3 after New Vegas dropped. Like, people think New Vegas is like the best thing ever. That's fine, but I really like Fallout 3. I love the tone, the color palette, the whole thing, the fact that Liam Neeson is your dad. I really like the whole intro of that game. The setting of Washington, D.C. was just so iconic. And yes, the game falls short in certain aspects, but I still really, really enjoyed it. That was my intro to Fallout, and they nailed it. After playing so much Oblivion and shit, and then coming to this and being like, oh, this game has guns, and like you're a cool survivor guy. It just hit. Then, believe it or not, I'm struggling where next on the list. I think it might be Starfield, specifically for it being unique, for it feeling like a completely different thing. Again, in other videos, I've talked about some of my problems with the game. I have significant issues, but ultimately, I like it, and I've been having fun. And I think with Starfield, where it really excels is being different and also just having some of their coolest faction stuff in games. Also, the fact that it's like a pretty good feeling shooter. Then after Starfield, believe it or not, and some people are going to think I'm absolutely crazy, this is just personal stuff, man, Skyrim is down on the list. So yeah, I'm putting Skyrim below Starfield, and it's only specifically because this is crazy. I've never...
Oh my God!
Totally hit with me as an Elder
Oh my God, Skyrim below Starfield, oh my God!
Completely whisked me away like it did with so many other people. Did I enjoy it? Absolutely. But was I obsessed with it like a lot of the world? No, not completely. Can't quite explain why. I don't know, but that's what it is. We're doing a ranking here, okay? Then after that is Fallout 4. Another game, very good. Really enjoyed it. I know some people have kind of soured on it after release, but I still think it's really cool. And yeah, it's like towards the bottom of my list, but it's still good. It's just like if I like when I was ranking, I'm like, Fallout 4, nah, okay. And then there's a bit of a jump downward, and then it's Fallout 76. Okay, Fallout 76 actually got much better after launch, but Fallout 76 for some people just did like irreparable damage. People hated that game, hated the way Bethesda handled a lot of it, and I get it. So yeah, like I agree with most people. It's on the bottom of my list, but not in the depths of hell, because again, after a lot of updates and stuff, it found a community and it actually got pretty all right. But yeah, that's my ranking. So I wanted to like kind of provide some context, at least how I feel about these games.
What?
Elder Scrolls guy. Sorry. I also played a lot of Elder Scrolls Online for Game Ranks videos. Never really talked about that over here, but yeah, that's where I'm at now. I think it's interesting to look at Starfield in the big picture. I'm curious because the news hit the other day about it hitting, what was it? 6 million players already. So it is technically, significantly, Bethesda's biggest launch of all time. And it's a new IP.
6 million nerds. You heard that? 6 million nerds been playing that game.
We're going to see Starfield sequels before maybe we see the next Fallout or something. I don't know, to be honest. With it being their biggest launch of all time, that is cool. Good for them. There's a lot of cool stuff with this game. People are enjoying it. My big question is,
I can't get away from this stuff on my YouTube algorithm. I can't get away from Starfield. No, this is an image of quantum entanglement. Press claims image reveals quantum entanglement is yin yang.
Oh, hey, I didn't see you there.
Oh, I love this guy, Anton Petrov.
In this beautiful earth behind me. What are we going to be talking about today? Oh yeah, another intriguing story where the press might have actually misinterpreted something that was not discovered at all. Let me show you what I'm talking about. This. It was referred to as the quantum yin and yang. With titles like Quantum Yin and Yang shows two photons being entangled in real time. Scientists visualized quantum entanglement of photons for the first time. The yin and yang of photon entanglement. And I'm pretty certain most of you have already seen this image because it went viral approximately 1 week ago. Now back then I actually had a really bad throat, which I still do by the way, so I didn't really get to make this video right away, but I was just sitting there, boiling, trying to figure out how do I actually present this, because this is literally not at all what was discovered. This does not show us quantum entanglement as a yin and yang. In other words, unlike those titles, this is not an image of quantum entanglement. This is not an image of two photons entangled to each other. And honestly, this is really more on researchers in this case, because they kind of took this image without realizing that it's going to completely mislead the audience, or technically the readers, the listeners, the what.
I don't know. They might have taken that picture thinking, knowing exactly what kind of bullshit storm they were bringing upon themselves.
It's the yin and yang! Oh my god!
Pictures of videos. So in some sense, this was just a pretty cool experiment with a picture that unfortunately misinterprets everything. So hello wonderful person, this is Anton. Let's talk about how this is not an image of quantum entanglement, and let's discuss what's actually here, why this is still kind of important, and to some extent what exactly is this all for. First, let's start with the technology that was actually used here, and the main...
First of all, it's horizontal instead of vertical. Everyone knows yin yang is vertical.
Principles behind all of this.
Idiot.
Or wait, first let's start with a brief 5-second introduction to quantum entanglement. In certain conditions you can create an environment where particles become entangled to one another. They start interacting in such a way where affecting one particle affects the other. And although we're not going to discuss a lot of detail, this is something that's been proven many times, one of the most interesting applications of this is with the use of photons. By splitting a laser beam, it becomes possible to entangle photons, which actually creates a lot of opportunities for different types of research. And as a matter of fact, a lot of recent discoveries in quantum physics and quantum mechanics, especially the ones involving quantum computers, would usually use these entangled photons. You can actually learn about some of them in the description below. But I guess more intriguingly, several scientists realized that you can actually use this principle to do quite a lot of intriguing things. For example, you can actually use this for encryption, or specifically sending encrypted data. So here, let's just say I'm sending you a lot of super secret data, but I'm doing this by splitting the laser beams and sending you the data along two separate streams, with each of these bits being
stereo channel lasers, stereo laser.
To listen to it, it actually automatically disentangles these particles just by nature of quantum physics. It represents a kind of observation of these particles, which means that you know exactly when you were hacked and when your data was intercepted. That's of course just one of many applications. Another application is a little bit more intriguing. You can use the entangled photons to try to scan things or to try to visualize things that would be otherwise invisible to us. For example, super tiny things, or maybe objects where there's really practically no light. Technically, this is an extension of what's known as digital holography, where we try to recreate various invisible objects by processing holograms using photons of light. And even more broadly, this is also part of tomography, with the famous example here being the MRI scan, where we try to reconstruct a three-dimensional object from a lot of two-dimensional images, creating a single object at the end. Although in digital holography, this recreation is usually done by reconstructing what's known as interferogram, an image showing us interaction or interference of light scattered by the object we're scanning. And so here we get a lot of different peaks when there is a lot of constructive interference, and we get a lot of troughs when there is a destructive interference. Here's a really good example of basically our blood cell. This is a blood erythrocyte. And this was created by looking at the interference patterns as the light interacted with this blood cell. Here's another slightly different example. This is from USGS, and this shows us the interference patterns that show us the changes in surface altitude. This is basically a radar image produced from outer space. But in the last few years, scientists have actually tried to take this a step further. They tried to figure out techniques where we could maybe use entangled photons to try to reconstruct things even faster or more precise. So in essence, taking digital holography to a completely new level. And here there's this really good video explaining pretty much all of this by David Butler. He makes these incredible classroom aids with a YouTube video in the description basically showing us everything. And here this new technique is known as ghost imaging. In essence, it's really simple. You once again take a laser, you split the beam, creating entangled photons, and then you send one of the beams toward some kind of an invisible or difficult to see object you're trying to scan, whereas the other beam goes into separate direction where there's practically nothing. And the idea here is that there is a detector on the opposite side, and the photons are supposed to arrive to this location at the same time. Now, if the two beams pass nothing, there's going to be no difference and they're going to produce no additional observations. But if the beam on the right passes through the object that you're trying to detect, it's going to become disentangled, and it's actually going to produce a kind of an interference pattern that's then going to produce the ghost image we're trying to see. Now this is ghost imaging. This is a very well-known technique and it's been used many times. But it's a relatively recent technique, so it's still being developed. Normally, to try to scan these objects, it does take quite a long time. As a matter of fact, some of the more complex three-dimensional objects could take days or even weeks of observations in order to produce the final image. Now, it usually still works, it just takes a really long time. In some sense though, this is essentially a kind of a quantum tomography. It produces the image we're trying to observe by using quantum effects. And this is a really exciting technique.
Exciting, but boring. Who is this? And also, that's not who that is. Ridiculous.
Doc, after watching your stream, I took my girl out on a nice romantic date. Just when I got her home, I put my hand down her pants and it felt so like I was feeding a horse. What are your thoughts? You must be doing something right.
What the heck, Doc? Ooh.
Did you know that Freddie Mercury was almost on Michael Jackson's Thriller album if it wasn't for a llama? See, in the 80s, Michael and Freddie became good friends. This led to the duo collaborating in the studio, but the experience did not work out. Michael did not like Freddie's drug use while recording. Meanwhile, Michael insisted on having his pet llama there. Freddie could not do this, and he called his manager. "You've got to get me out of here. I'm recording with a llama. I've had enough, and I want to get out." He left the studio shortly after, leaving 3 songs unfinished. Freddie later regretted this decision.
I think one of the tracks would have been on the Thriller album if I finished it, but I missed out.
However, decades later in 2012, one song between the two legends did come to light. But still, who knows what could have been if it wasn't for Michael's llama. Did you know?
Yeah, for real. Fuck that stupid llama depraving us of Freddie Mercury. Hitler's normal voice. What?
During his lifetime, but also in studies afterwards.
How long is this? 13 minutes?
To enchant
Yeah, let's go to
the
this.
conversation was mainly about the Axis war effort.
Sehr große Gefahr, vielleicht die schwerste. Der ganzen Ukraine überhaupt erst jetzt ermessen können. Wir wussten das selber auch nicht so ganz genau, wie ungeheuerlich dieser Staat.
Yeah, I could believe that's how he sounded. This guy is pretty hard.
Do you know what the single most important physical skill is when it comes to self-defense with a handgun? It's not your shooting mechanics. It's not your marksmanship. Not at all. It's grappling. Gun guys hate when I talk about wrestling and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu because they'll say things like, "You should never grapple in self-defense. I would never get close to somebody if I had a gun." Or, the craziest, it's so stupid, it actually surprised me. They'll say if the bad guy has a gun, like you have a gun, and you're gonna use it on me, and the techniques that I would use to like deal with it, they'd say, "What kind of idiot would get that close to you if he has a gun?" The truth is, most self-defense incidents occur at close range, by surprise. Your stance and your grip and your sight alignment, none of that matters. If you carry a gun for self-defense and you don't know how to wrestle, you probably just brought a gun for the other guy.
Whoa. That's not a bad point. I mean, I don't look forward to fighting someone with a gun. Probably wouldn't argue with him too much, but if he doesn't know how to fight, then, you know, I potentially I get that gun.
In the comments section are some of the worst. They're not as bad as Knife Guys. They're almost as bad as Knife Guys. They talk that same shit down there, but you know what happens when they show up to force on force? They get taken down, held down, and their gun gets taken from them instantly and easily. In fact, there's something kind of sad. There's a noise that they make. It would almost be funny if it wasn't so serious. I don't want to kill the mood. I'll talk about it later. We're gonna do some techniques, some concealed weapons techniques and stuff like that. I'll say later the noise they make. It's really, really. But these guys think that range time is more important than mat time. They think that weapon selection is more important than holster selection. If your answer to every situation is I would just shoot him, you've got about a 50-50 chance of failing at self-defense or succeeding at murder. Speaking of holster selection, I'm carrying in a Works holster appendix. I think appendix is best. I think a light is important. Works holsters does both of those things really well. It's got the right amount of retention. They are the sponsor of this video. This is what I'm rocking from Works. I really like this holster. It's got good tolerance, good lockup. This is adjustable. It's got this little wing here to hold the grip flat against my little tummy. They have over 2,300 holster and light combinations. I'll put the holster finder in the link in the description below. It's hard to find something that fits your stuff correctly with just the right amount of retention. And I think that this is it. You can also, I'm not gonna budge on the light, but I will budge on the carry location. They have inside waistband, outside waistband, appendix carry, and then you can customize it further with the different accessories that you want, whether you need suppressor height sights or anything like that. You get the exact right holster that's custom fitted to your gun. Then one of the other problems with a lot of custom holster companies is it takes you like weeks to get your stuff. I've ordered custom holsters before and never got them and had to get a refund. Their lead time is like 10 to 15 days on custom orders. I'm rocking a 43X with the Streamlight on it. You can go click that link and see if they've got yours. A light is a no-brainer. Like, why would you not have a light on a gun? Appendix, I understand there's some people that can't get, there's some people that are worried about blowing their junk off. I've done a whole video on that. Works has been a good supporter of the channel. They've supported us a few times, so if you're shopping for a holster, that's where I would start. People that say that there's no grappling in gunfights and no grappling in street fights have never been in either. You don't know that, like, he's not gonna announce from over there, hey, I got a gun. Yeah, oh, well, I have one too, and I'm gonna pull mine out first, right? And now I have the initiative. No, that's not how it works. They're close enough to put their hands on me. The hands are already gonna be on me when this thing starts, some kind of way, right? Oh, I'm getting robbed, I'm being accosted. I need to deal with this first. If my go-to is to reach back here and go for this, not only will this get pinned, I'm pinning my deltoid against his skeleton. I'm gonna get a little nerdy here for a second. Even if you carry here, I'm still gonna have to deal with these ties. He's gonna try to occupy my hands. What would you do? You grab my wrist. He's got my wrist, he's got my shoulder, he's probably gonna be telling me stuff, or he's gonna start hitting me or something. I have to get inside position. That's what I want. I want my hands inside of his hands. That keeps him away from my weapons. It keeps his hands away from his potential weapons, and it gives me some modicum of control over him. He's got me inside. I need to know how to pummel inside. I need to know how to control him and move him. I need to know how to get the positions I want. Ideally, that would be to go to the back. That's what I want. I'm not big and strong enough to jack Eric's arm way up here without losing it. I'm not fast and agile and balanced enough to get all the way down here and go under without getting smashed, sprawled on, kneed, or guillotine choked, or headlocked, for those of you who don't know that. I get inside, I start fighting these hands. He's trying to do whatever you want, man. Just go live, man. Go live. What would you do? Oh, he's already after my weapon, right? I want to get to his back. If I get to his back,
I think whether or not someone has a gun, these are all great self-defense sort of tactics to keep in mind. Now, of course, unless you're in practice, it's not going to matter in the moment. But that's what practice does, is it beats it into your brain on how to react in the moment to a situation.
I have a lot of time and I have a lot of options. I can give him the old hump and bump, boop, and then make my draw and make my decisions. But I have to get a good position first. What do you got? I got it.
You see, he was taking some light shots on the inside, keeping him occupied, keeping him away from his gun. Potentially, you know, just keeping him occupied with defending against him, whilst finding a way to his own firearm.
Let's go. This is what training really looks like. What you got, huh? Oh. Maybe I don't want to let go of him. Maybe I make that decision, but it's a lot easier to make that decision from his back than with him. Oh, bro. It's okay. He got my phone. But what if you can't get to his back? Eric's kind of being nice. He's being a little generous. It's when you're a coach, your students always give you a little leeway. But what if Eric doesn't want to let me to his back?